Hey friends, today I'm going to be creating an embellishment box using the Peace, Love, and Happy Vibes collection from Hobby Lobby. So I have my box here from the Dollar Tree. I've taken the label off. It left a little residue. I'm going to try to get that off. But I chose this really fun butterfly paper that I haven't worked with yet. And I think I want to make this maybe another shaker. I had a lot of fun making the shaker for the clipboard. So I think I'm going to cut this down, make the top a shaker, and then decorate on top of that. So I've measured the size that I want to cut this by, and I'm going to cut it at 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm going to go ahead and cut two of these, one for the top and the other for the inside. So let's do that really quick first. So I didn't do any pre-cutting beforehand. All right, so we know it needs to be 8.5 wide. And that'll leave me a little extra paper to do something with. And then we need to be 5.5. And then we're going to cut another one at 5.5. And so I have another little strip left. So that's all the cutting I need to do right now. And now I need to decide. I think I want to go ahead and, corner around those corners. So let's grab my corner chopper. And I think I'm going to do the fourth. Yeah, that works. Okay, so let me corner chop these really quick. So there are our two pieces. So the piece on the inside, I'm going to leave that alone, but the piece on the outside, I think I'm going to make that a shaker. So I need to decide what do I want to add on the top as far as the shaker goes. Normally I use my snowflake tool, but I have some lace. I think that might be pretty. Let's grab the lace. I could do the lace. That kind of takes away from it, I think, though. So maybe I'll stick with just the pink. So I think I'm going to do the pink snowflake tool from Dollar Tree, and it's just wide enough, which is awesome. So I'm going to cut a little extra on each side, just a little bit. And then I'll grab my sewing clips so I can hold this in place. This is the last of the pink that I have. I'm so sad. All right, so I'm going to grab this. We're going to set this one aside. And I like to clip it in place just so it doesn't move around on me while I'm sewing. So let's clip one here. And we'll clip one down here. I don't want to ruffle the I want to kind of keep the tool as flat as I can. Okay, I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine and I'm going to stitch this really quick, and then we'll add some sequins and start decorating. So I have it all stitched and I left one side open, and let's grab some sequins. So I left this, I started the corner here and then I can finish it out. I had a little problem, got my thread caught here, but I think I can pull that out. So let me grab a little spoon and we can add some sequins in here. Actually, I might be able to just lightly dump them right from the container if I'm careful and don't make a mess. All right, let's add a little bit more because I want to make sure I have room to decorate. Okay, that's plenty. And then I still have a good amount left because I'm going to package some of this up for Happy Mail. All right, so I'm going to take this back over and I'm going to finish stitching this, and then we can figure out how we want to decorate. I think I did pretty good meeting those two lines together. I had a little issue right here in the corner, but otherwise I'm happy with how it looks. And now I just need to trim away the extra snowflake tool that's on hanging over the side. So let me do that really quick. So here is our shaker for the top of our embellishment box. This shaker mix is so pretty. I love like the shine to it, and I love this paper. So I'm going to grab my double-sided tape from the Dollar Tree to add this down. Now on here, this is not perfectly flat. So when you get here to lay this down, it is going to kind of go like a little buckled. If you didn't want it to go buckled, I guess you could add like some foam tape or something to have it at the same level. It doesn't really bother me, but I'm going to go ahead and add some tape down to both of these pieces so we can add them to our embellishment box. So I'll just go around the outside edge, and then I'll also put some in the middle as well. That way I have a good amount of adhesive so it doesn't pop off the top of our embellishment box. So I've put my double-sided tape down. I burnished it really well, and then I just pulled all of the backing off just to make this a little easier. I notice I need to trim a little bit of this thread here. Let's go ahead and lay these down. I'm going to work on the outside first, and I wasn't able to get a lot of this off, but we're going to be covering it up. So I made this to be a little bit smaller than the box so I could center it. So I'm going to do my best to center it. And like I said, this is going to go down a little bit, but that's okay. You could add a little wet glue to this. You could add, very carefully, you could add wet glue to adhere this down. But if you peel really hard, I think it will come up, but I think this will stay just fine. All right, so there is the top. And the reason I like to put it inside too is to kind of cover up all that tape. So I'm going to do my best to line this up so you don't see it on the other side. You might see a little bit of it. All right, I'm going to work that down. You can use your spatula if you want. It's not a perfect flat surface, so I just like using my hand for this. And let's see. Yeah, did a good job. I don't see any of it sticking out. So now we get to decorate. Here comes the fun part. So I think even though I'm using this, I think I want to add some maybe fun ruffle trim down. I have my foam stickers and I've got a bunch of the ephemera left. So I'm thinking about maybe using a couple of these pieces of larger ephemera. I like this Only Happy Vibes here because I don't use them, the big ones, on a lot of stuff. We have Good Days Only, All You Need Is Love, One Day at a Time. This one says Peace, Love, and Happy Vibes. I kind of like Only Happy Vibes here. And maybe add some of my ruffle trim down. I also have some of this fabric with these RVs from the Dollar Tree that I didn't ruffle this. I just tore strips and then sewed it. Maybe add that on top. And then we can add this here, and let's see, I think maybe a butterfly. We could add a butterfly on top. Got a couple larger butterfly options. I feel like we're missing something here as well. We could put a couple butterflies, but I'm not sure I'm liking that. Maybe I need to do like a cluster of flowers. Let's grab some flowers. I still think I want to put a butterfly. I did not plan this out at all. So I have a bunch of these flowers that my mom had got me, and they have some really pretty pinks in here. Let's get the different kinds. These are all pink. Let's see, there's a darker color too, a darker pink. That one is red. I don't think that one would work. All right, so there's some of those, and I have some smaller ones too. I also have these, and I have some paper ones and some of these Hobby Lobby ones. So let's think about this. If we put this here, we could do like a cluster of flowers. In this corner. Could do something like that. And I really think it would be cool to have a long word instead of this larger one, but we still add that. We have this Good Vibes, but it's super small. And then let's grab one of those butterflies. And then we've got some smaller flowers that we could tuck in maybe. Sometimes I have to stand above stuff to see. Maybe we'll take away this. Should we take that away and then I don't like the way that butterfly is shaped though, but I also don't really like how this one's shaped. I kind of like this better. I like the idea of adding this, but I think I like this better. And I think I want to tuck in a few smaller flowers around these as well. So I'm going to put these back, and let's grab some of the smaller flowers. Of course, they're all at the bottom. So maybe we'll tuck in some of the smaller ones around. We could also bring in some of these Hobby Lobby ones, but I feel like, well, you know what? I think bringing in a different color, like the yellow here. We can move this over a little bit. Bring in like the yellow. Bring in maybe one of the blues. All right, so yeah, I think I'm just going to do like a little cluster of flowers. I think that will be pretty. And if we need to bring any smaller flowers, I have these as well. So let's take a look. Yeah, I think that's cute. So let's put Happy Vibes here. I am going to pop that up on some foam tape. So let's go ahead and add some foam tape. I'm all the time moving my little mat across my desk when I'm crafting. I need to like anchor it down where it doesn't shift or move. Got the majority over on this side. We still have a few, but I'm not going to try to rip a hole in that. So we're going to add that there and do a little cluster like that. All right, so let's add this down first. And by shifting those sequins over, I'm not gluing directly on top of those. And then my sequins can kind of move around where I've glued things down. I am going to add some hot glue on this because we are gluing to this kind of mesh. All right, so let's add this here and hope I added it in a good place. All right, I'm going to start with this one first in the corner, this little pink one here. So we're going to start with this one in the corner, and unfortunately I'm gluing on a couple sequins, but that's okay. So let's glue that one, and then let's glue this one down next. On the corner, and then we'll have this one. But I want to add some of these around as well. So there is the yellow. Maybe we just add the yellow, or do we add the blue? I kind of like the blue. And then we can tuck in these other two. All right, so let's add this one down next. I need to grab another glue stick. Don't you hate it when you're crafting and you run out of like your adhesive or your glue stick and you're in the middle of being creative and then you have to stop to fill it up? Always happens to me. All right, now let's add this blue one here. Might have to add a little extra glue to this one. And this was kind of hanging off to this side. All right, and then we're going to tuck in some of these smaller ones. So I'm actually going to leave this part. I'm going to trim that little tip off, but I'm going to leave that, and that's going to be how I glue this down. So I'm going to kind of just place that underneath that flower where that stem is hidden. Oh, I should have put this one. Oh, let's see if I can pull it out. Let's make it a mess. Let's see. Let's switch and put this one there. And then we'll tuck this one over here. So let's add some more glue back to this one. Phew, that's hot. All right, so let's see. Do we need to add anything else? I got a ton of glue. I do have a little area here where I could tuck one there. But this is just a little too big. I'd kind of like to stick with these. Oh, here we go. I have one in my little flower stash here. So let's tuck one in here as well. Being careful not to burn myself, but I'm pushing down on that stem to make sure it attaches itself. Okay, that one's good. This one's good. That's good. Okay, awesome. And now we have some flowers along the sides. Super cute. And then we have this. I wish I had moved this over just a little bit towards this. I could always bring in another flower. To start layering some flowers. Is that too many flowers? Sometimes I really do wish y'all could talk to me. I'm going to leave it like it is, I think. I don't know. I kind of like that, though. Or we bring in one of these. No, that covers up that. If I'd have put that one there, but that one's just a little too big. All right, I'm going to leave that for now. I'm going to keep these out beside me in case I decide to grab for them. All right, and then we can add maybe this butterfly. If I had a little butterfly, that would have been cute here. The butterfly would have been cute here and this here. Oh well. Do we need to add anything else? I definitely feel like it's missing something there. I think I'm going to go ahead and add the butterfly here. Let me see if I can get some of the sequins moved down a little bit further so I don't glue too much on them. And let's pop that butterfly up as well, give it a little dimension. I'm going to cut one piece in half for the antenna. All right, so let's add it. I want to add it like it's flying. There we go. Let's see. Stay over there. Yeah, I'm going to add it where it's kind of down here in this corner. So let's add some glue. I'm definitely probably going to glue on top of a couple of the sequins, but there's still enough in there where they'll move around just fine. And I'm going to let that dry before I move around the sequins. Really cute. Now I just need to decide if I want to add any more of these flowers. I think I'd like to add the yellow. Add the yellow here. And the pink here. Still not close to this, but I kind of like that. All right, let's do that. Let's add the yellow one up here. And then we're kind of doing like a little curve of the flowers. And then we're going to kind of tuck this one right here. And I'm push down on these just a little bit. I don't want to smush them too much. I'll smush this one a little bit. All right, cute. I like that. That turned out super cute. And we got a cute little uplifting sentiment on there. We've got a couple of we got the little ephemera piece. I don't think I need to add any gems, but you know what I think would be really fun is if I added some like Nouveau drops or some shimmer like on the flowers. I do have Wink of Stella, but I'm not sure where it is, and pretty sure I've had it for a really long time. I could add a little bit of Nouveau drops just to add a little bit of glitter, a little bit of shine on the flowers. Just go in a couple places. All right, so we added some there. Let's add someone to this one. I need a little paintbrush. Leave me in a comment down below and let me know how you add a little like shine or glitter to your flowers. Do you use Nouveau Drop? Do you use Wink of Stella? Do you use glue and glitter? I'm not a big glitter person, so like I don't own like loose glitter. But I'm interested in how you add a little bit of some like dimension to your flowers. I'm going to add a little bit on this one too. Kind of looks like dew on the flowers. All right, you're not going to see that a lot, but it's just a little bit something on there. And I still think it would be fun to take one of my mists. I've got like frosted mint and spritz that on there. I think that would be fun. So I've got frosted mint. I've got my Christmas collection near me. Frosted mint, sugary gum drop, or Wonderland. Thinking maybe mint. Need to grab my others because I've got a lot of pink going on. So I think I'm going to do that off camera, and then we'll come back on and we'll fill this up because this is going to take a minute to shake. I think I'm going to spritz this a little bit with this frosty mint, as I don't have my other ones near me. And then that way it gives it a little more something besides all the pink that's on here. So stay tuned. All right, so I had a little fun with the Distress spray, and I went ahead and sprayed both that mint and the pink on here, let it dry, and then I added one of these little butterflies that I created, which I have a tutorial for how I created them using the larger butterflies, but I kind of felt like this was missing something there, and there was so much like pink going on. I added this little pop of yellow, and then I went ahead and filled this off camera because I knew this video was getting so long. So let me share with you what I filled this up with. So I have some little crepe paper rosettes here, a pink and a blue. This one has a bunch of these little smiley face beads and these little smiley face charms. I've got some pink and blue pom-pom trim, and then this one is a bunch of little ribbon samples. They're 12 to 24 inches long, something along that. They were just some that I'm sharing, so we got a bunch of trims in there. Then I've got some crepe paper ruffle with the snowflake trim, and then some without in this blue. I'm gifting her these Hobby Lobby washi tapes that I picked up in my recent clearance haul because I already have a set, so I am gifting her those. Let's see if I can put them in. Everything will probably not stay as pretty, of course, getting to her, but I'm going to make it pretty for right now. or, well, they're just in there. And then in here, I packaged up some of the sequence mix in this lip gloss container, added one of those little smiley charms. And then I've got this hello and peace that I cut out, and a couple of my ticket clusters for her to use, because I wanted to add something else in that pocket besides the sequence mix. So really fun embellishment box for her. Oh, and then I also have a little bead mix here that I forgot to mention, with a bunch of different little fun solid colored beads. I've got some little smiley flower beads, these little confetti. So a really fun embellishment box. Now, unfortunately, I realized that my shaker mix doesn't really shake anymore, so I'm wishing I had left a little bit more over here, but that's okay. There's a lot of fun going on the top with the flowers on this side, the sequins on this side. So thank you so much, guys, for stopping by, and I will link anything I can down in the description box below for you. Have a wonderful day, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.